let's talk about the job interview and what it takes to really excel at this situation. So when you are thinking about going to your job interview, you're probably feeling really nervous and you want to know if you're going to make a good impression. Well, one of the things that you can do to really calm yourself is to actually have a good preparation and good planning. So this makes you look professional. Like if you do a little research about the company or the interviewer, you seem like you're actually interested and you want to align with the company, and you have some really good questions about the products, the services, the company itself, and what are the overall goals. This also makes you look competent. It makes you look like someone who is organized, someone who is ready to perform a job well, because you're performing your job of finding a job well in front of this person who is evaluating you by interviewing you. And if you really want to get the job, this is a very important thing to do. Your job is probably going to involve some preparation and planning anyways. So doing this beforehand is probably something that you need to have down in order to accept most jobs that are available. And by far, this makes you a winning candidate, because if you excel, if you are above average, if you're the top 1% of people as far as the research that goes into the job interview, then you're going to be the one to get the job most likely. So when we talk about preparing for the interview, it's about the research. It's not, some people focus on just looking into the company. Some people just focus on the interviewer. Some people just focus on the job description, but it's really about focusing on learning as much as you can that supports you in discovering the ideas as far as what the company is about, who the interviewer is, and also the job as well, and how it aligns with your goals and your values. So it's really about good research. So it's a good way to start your preparation. It's just to start Googling online, looking into the job's LinkedIn profile, any Facebook profiles, the website, looking at the about page, the products and services. And it really helps you articulate your skills and your experience. You can also understand what are your motivations, what are your goals, and how do they align with the company. And if you can share this confidently and in a very straightforward way, then it makes you look good in the interviewer's eyes. So again, it includes interviewing, researching the company, the job description or the job ad, and also the person that is interviewing you. And if you're able to get this information of who the interviewer is, then definitely look up about their background and what their success story is. So let's go a little bit more into more detail with the company. So as I mentioned before, you want to check multiple resources. Almost probably all companies, large and small, have some type of online presence, and most of them have a company website, which will give you a lot of information, sometimes not as much, sometimes a whole lot to look at. But you want to go to their About Us page, which will talk about potentially their team, who are the people at the top, the executives, the people on the board maybe, and their mission. You also want to look at what are their services, how are they trying to give to the world, how are they trying to serve the world, and you want to look at their products and services, and also maybe even their competitors. You can see how you would be able to help them overcome their competition. And also, as far as the company has particular goals of reaching their audience, or some kind of value they're trying to give, or some type of product quality they're trying to make. You can see how your goals personally and professionally align with theirs. And that will just make you much more convinced that you're the person for the job, as well as the person listening to you. So number 2, so we looked at the company a little bit. Now we're going to look into the job ad or the job description. So you want to read everything. You want to go from the top to the bottom, everything you can to understand this job description. It might take time, but it'll be worth it to you in the end, because it's going to increase your odds that you are going to get this job. And you'll actually, in the long run, probably increase your odds of spending less time in your job search. So you want to look for what skills they're looking for, and what employers are emphasizing about the skills needed for the position. And you also want to be aware of what weaknesses you have as far as what they're looking for, and prepare to talk about how you're willing to grow and how you're willing to learn more. And you can get a better understanding also for the requirements. You can see all the skills that you've had from the past, and you can bring those forward and align them more with what the job is asking for. And you can prove based off all this experience that you might have forgotten, or you might have just, not remembered as well. And you can bring it back and emphasize it. Like if you did some kind of speech competition in the past, you may be able to use this experience that you may have forgotten about or just didn't really remember that well in as a skill that you can emphasize might align with your company. Like if you're going to be working in sales or customer service, like you have good communication skills. I did a project or I won a competition with speaking. And you can also get clues as to what would be asked in the interview. So you can prepare for the interview itself by just understanding the job ad. Now, finally, if you can get the information of who is going to interview you, you can do research on the interviewer. And you can find out their names, you can Google their social media, you can just look at what their posting is. Do they have any publications? Do they have any articles, many books that they may have written? And you can also look at what successes that they've had, where they worked in the past, if it's available. And also you can see if there's any commonalities that you share. Like are you interested in similar pursuits? Maybe bicycling, maybe reading, maybe writing. You can talk about those and make a connection with the interviewer. Because working at a company is not just about your hard skills and not just about your soft skills. It's also about, are you going to get along with the people that are there? So are you a well-rounded individual? And that's part of what maybe unconsciously, maybe consciously that the interviewer is looking for when you go to an interview is, are you going to fit in with the culture of this company? So there's a lot more to learn about prep, and stay connected, and hopefully you can feel a little bit more relaxed about the interview so far. See you next time.